Like, what's going on, boys? Let's go over the weekly tactics update for you today. Just a few different things. In case you're wondering about the 4-5-1, it didn't make my way into my tactical setup. I'll explain that in a second. But of course, we have the defensive variation. It's the exact same from last week. The only difference is I put short passing on this formation. Look, there's probably a big chance that you probably don't need short passing. It's just that sometimes now when I'm under pressure, with bad gameplay, I don't have time to press R1 to bring a player close. So that's what I'm doing. So short passing actually is putting me under more pressure because people are basically pressing me more. But by having a player come close, it gives me a passing option. Then I do a player lock straight after. That's the only thing that I've changed from last week. So this is just the formation to close out the game. So it's the 4-2-3-1, second variation. In my opinion, one of the better formations. Yes, my striker's off chemistry, but she stays there up top anyway. So it doesn't matter. She doesn't really come back in defense anyway. So even if she's out of position, it's not the end of the world. That's the only change I made from last week. Otherwise, this formation is staying in that setup. Now, in case you're wondering about the 4-5-1, so we're going to go straight to the 4-2-3-1 defend. This again, I still think the 4-2-3-1, when I said it was probably top 3 formation, I wasn't joking. It definitely is one of the better formations again inside the game. It's exactly the same. Now, in case you're wondering, why isn't the 4-5-1 in this setup? I don't like the 4-5-1 that much. You guys have been asking me, can you make a formation video on a 4-5-1 for a very long time? I just think it's a bit too defensive. Look, of course, maybe for you, let's talk about skill levels here now. Maybe for someone like yourself, you may prefer the 4-5-1 because it makes you more stable defensively. I want to be more attacking, especially with the way this game is going. If I get, for example, 14-1, I'd rather get 14-1 playing the way I want to play aggressive than getting 50-0 just sweating all day long, just trying to park the bus and lob the ball from side to side, play a long ball. The 4-5-1, I'm just not really a big fan of it. I just think it's a bit too defensive for my style of play. It's a bit too slow, a bit too boring. But if you like to use it, go ahead and use that formation. You can put that in over here where it is the 4-2-3-1 setup. I still like this one. I think with both the Lam and the Ram as half wingers, and of course when I'm attacking, I have 2 CDMs. I actually really like this formation. This would be the formation I start the game with, but you can here put my 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, or you can even put my 4-5-1, or even my 4-1-4-1. The 4-1-4-1, it just has a CDM. That's the only difference between like a midfield 5. One there's a CDM, just helps you a bit more defensively. But either formation go in the slot. Remember, I'm trying to teach you to integrate your own tactics into the slot. So next week, what we're going to do is not going to have any of these tactics whatsoever. Then we actually, we'll come back to this one. We'll come back to this one because let's go through this in systematic order. Then we go over to the 4-3-1-2. Now, this is where my 4-2-3-1 attack is. So in case you're wondering from last week, Neil, where's that formation gone? I basically just changed it, so I'm going to rename it for you live so you can see it. Now, the 4-3-1-2, I think personally. Do you want to get better at FC25? Now, before you skip ahead, what if I told you if you joined my FC school and you didn't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money? I can say this because I've been running my FC school for many, many years and thousands of students join and even stay on. We go over complete in-depth gameplay tutorials showing you both the theory of something and the gameplay examples using real-life examples in a structured format that's like a course. The videos on a systematic learning system teaching you everything from the core mechanics, the basics to the meta so you can get better as a whole with explanations that go beyond the scope of my YouTube channel. FC School has already started with every single tactical layout, focuses, meta cards, and learn the meta before it even becomes the meta. So come join thousands of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better at FC25, patreon.com/nilguides, or click the link down below. Now, when you join, we already have a library of hundreds of videos, more than my YouTube channel, in fact, with new videos on FC25 getting constantly added so you'll never run out of content. The biggest mistake people do is they spend thousands of dollars on FP points every year thinking this will make them better, but it won't. But now it's time for you to make that change. Don't forget, if you don't get better after 1 month, just send me a message and I'll refund your money. That's the Neil Guides guarantee. Links down below in the description, patreon.com/Neil Guides. I think it's probably top 2. The only other formation I'm using instead of this is the 4-2-2. And I think that is a better formation that's more aggressive. The only difference between the 4-2-2 and this one is that you have a cam. So the 4-2-2 basically has 2 strike. They both have holding CDMs. Both have a back 4, both have a Lam, a Ram, or a left mid, right mid, however you want to call it. And they both have, the difference is they both have one has 1 striker and a 4-4-2. has two strikers instead of the 4-2-1-3, which has the cam and the striker. So if I want to be a bit more defensive, I can kind of use this formation first. So I actually like this. I think the key thing with this is inside forwards on roaming. I think they just have better AI movement. So if I'm going to be a bit more lazy and I kind of want that cam and I'm not maybe going as direct, then a 4-2-3-1 probably goes in. I think it's probably alongside the 4-2-2-2, probably they both have different use cases, but I think they both go into probably one of the best formations inside the game. The only difference that I really put in above everything right now is I put Shadow Strike. I know people put Playmaker here. I'd rather put Shadow Strike. I want that player to be kind of like a center forward, a second striker coming in late. So I've got a Shadow Striker there. It's the exact same system. And this one, I have my left back on join the attack. Now, I mentioned this in the video. Feel free to put this player on basically on fullback defend if you want to. But just similar how I do my 4-2-2-2, I like to have my left back to attacking wing back plus. So if you're watching this and you're like, I don't want that, change that. This is what I do. Yes, it can be a bit more risky on the defending end, but I've already got 2 CDMs and I've got basically 3 players at the back. I don't need to be more defensive. That is why I'm really liking the 4-2-2-2 and then the 4-2-3-1s and the 4-1-3-2s, because from the counter attack perspective, the CDMs, they're providing stability. So whenever I'm getting counter, they sit back, better AI movement, better play, so they can run back and they can recover. So all the ones with 2 CDMs, I'll be honest, I'm liking a lot more now. So that goes in. So you could effectively start the game with this formation, and then you can change to this formation if you want to be a bit more aggressive. The difference between these two is it's basically the same formation. This one has left wings and right wings. Otherwise, they are basically very, very similar, the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-1-2. But as long as it's my 4-2, I know people have got playmakers and a Lamb and a Rams. It's not the same. Put them on half wingers. If you don't believe me, if you have 4-2-1, try it, you will see. And then the 4-2-2 still goes into being one of the best formations inside the game. Yes, my striker's out of position. I don't mind that. I got 1 striker. I've already explained this last week why that player's out of position. I can always sub that player off. This is basically what I'm going for. I just realized I got to show the depth again, but the code is there. But there's no change on this one. I'll be honest, I still think this is probably, as I said, alongside the 4-1-3-2 best formation inside the game. I think a lot of people that are copying this formation are struggling because it's a bit too attack heavy. Look, I'm going to be honest, all the pro players are using this. Diogo actually released his 4-2-2 as well. And a lot of I think a majority of the pro players have some sort of 4-2-2 in their arsenal. They're either using a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2, something of that variation anyway, or the 4-3-1-2 as well. But I think it's the best formation inside the game. I think with this formation, the more higher skill gap, the more better player you are, the better results you will get. I still think if you're a rank 4 player, you can do well. But I think like maybe if you're like a rank 6, rank 7 player, rank 5 even, maybe you would argue it's not as effective for you. That's why, as I mentioned, always tune the tactics. So if you know you can't play with Batcher, the attacking wing back, just put on stay back and defend. But I really like the system with the right attacking mid on roaming. It's a bit different. You attack down one side, no one can really guess it too much as well. And so that will be the formation that maybe I would go with. If, as you can see, they're very, very similar. You can see they're all similar formations. The phalanx, that's basically a 4-2-3-1 second variation. Then we start the game with a 4-2-3-1. Then we go to a bit more aggressive with the left wing and right wing this time. That's the only difference between these two formations. And then, of course, the fullbacks go forward. And then we have the 4-2-2 where I have 2 strikers. Again, very, very important when I'm up against someone. If they're using, if someone's controlling their CDMs and man marking my striker, and I can't get through and a good player, I may need 2 strikers. And then the final formation, which I'm not really using as much, is the 4-2-4. You can use a 4-4-2 here, but I'm using the 4-2-4 because of chemistry purposes and trying to get the right players. For example, Neymar and Foden as their left wings and right wings, and they can't play. Well, Foden can't play right mid and stuff like that. But there's a few other reasons why, but it's a more aggressive approach. Again, this is just the formation I'm using to win the ball back. Look, you can go with, for example, high or aggressive. You can put this on 70 and leave it like that. Me personally, I activate the team press button. But if you don't do that, literally just put this on like this, put this to there, save changes, and that will be the new code per se. But again, I like to press myself manually. I can always pause the game and increase the depth myself, or I can use. I'm using a lot of the teammate contain, team press the D-pad tactic to emulate what I need to do. So that's basically it. If you're watching this, by the time I'm uploading this, it is probably Saturday, I think, by the time this video gets uploaded. I'm going to be playing Black Ops 6. I might play my weekend league on Sunday. I have multiple accounts. I'm only going to play on one account. I'm going to enjoy Black Ops 6, and I suggest you do the same thing as well. But of course, enjoy your weekend league. At least, even if you want to play for a bit, at least get the rank 5, at least get some decent rewards. Rewards are actually pretty decent this year for the amount of effort that you do put in. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you are struggling in your weekend league and you want to get better at FC, you can come to my Patreon, so it's patreon.com/NeilGuides. And of course, I'm still making those COD videos, by the way, if you want to check out my second channel. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.